we're going to be seeing less money circulating in the economy, less confidence, and that's bad news for our recovery overall.
Yeah, in particular jobs, you would think, because obviously that if you hit consumer spending, people don't feel as though they can spend, and you talk about heading into the Christmas period, that's going to have a knock-on effect again for the job sector, isn't it?
Look, exactly right. And look, we had pretty favourable jobs numbers today, and that was a surprise by many. But we have to remember that this isn't evenly spread, right? So I'm here in South Australia. We've had less than 500 cases of COVID-19. We have an 8% unemployment rate still, 20% youth unemployment in this state. When we wind down JobKeeper, which, we know can't go on forever, but it's there to be a bridge to the end of the recovery, right? And we're not really at that point of the recovery. So if we begin to wind down JobKeeper and we push more people onto the unemployment queues, I really worry about the capacity of people to actually get back into the workforce at all, particularly if they're older, and particularly when you already have, over 1 million Australians that are looking for more work, looking for a job at all. So, look, this is a really difficult decision for the government, but we would like to see them reconsider such a dramatic drawdown at the end of this month. And again, they're going to change it in January. So look, this is a tough decision on their part, but it's going to have real consequences.
Yeah, and the impact of a recession on people, young people particularly, as they start out their careers, we know can last decades. So you've alluded to the fact that you want the stimulus to continue. We have a budget coming up on October the 6th. What do you think there at the Institute needs to come through in the budget that will help avoid some of the worst impacts of this recession in the months and even years to come?
Yeah, so I think we've been hearing a lot this week about the expected, large deficits, obviously, in the budget. A lot of that going to be going into physical infrastructure, and that's important. That's really necessary. My worry is this shift of focus away from the support of basic social infrastructure, basic community infrastructure. We've got cafes, we've got corner stores, we've got local small businesses who are getting the rug pulled out from underneath them, while a lot of the attention shifts towards big nation-building infrastructure projects that, while are very important, might actually come into full swing in a year or 2 or 3 years' time after the money's been committed. So we're thinking about big fiscal support at the moment, but at the same time we're withdrawing money that's going directly into lower-income workers, middle-income workers' back pockets. So fundamentally, I'd like to see the Treasury get up next month and actually commit to extending these support programs until we have a vaccine, until we have open borders, until there's some normality back in our economy, because otherwise we're going to see a lot more people out of work waiting for those big infrastructure projects and those large sort of nation-building initiatives to come through.
Yeah, and as you say, those support payments, they can't continue forever. So in your view, is the only game changer that a vaccine will be found? And even once it is, it's obviously going to be a very slow process to roll that out and therefore have an effect on the economy.
Of course, look, all of these conversations about the, rebuilding the economy have that big asterisk that we don't have a vaccine, we don't have anyone coming into the country. I can't get to New South Wales, I can't go to Western Australia, and there's no community transmission at all in South Australia. So, look, that's essential to providing a baseline of confidence in the economy. But at the same time, until we get there, we need these programs in place. They do have negative consequences as well. We know with the JobKeeper program, it's limiting people shifting around from jobs, and it pins workers to their current jobs, and that's not ideal in a hot economy. We wouldn't want that. But we're just so far away from back to normality, and I understand the government's reticence to continue these programs indefinitely. We don't want to see that, but it's just too early, unfortunately, to go back to normal and to take the foot off the pedal of these types of support programs. So yes, we need a vaccine, we need some sort of health certainty, borders back open, all of that. But in the interim, we're going to need to keep these programs up.
Cavanough from the McKell Institute, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
Great. Thanks to be with you. Thank you.